Welcome back to the Red Right Hand Podcast, the show that covers each and every episode of the Peaky Blinders.
Oh, I don't pay for suits. My suits are on the outs, or the house burns down.
Welcome back to the Red Right Hand Podcast, the show that covers each and every episode of the Peaky Blinders. I'm Josh.
And I'm Curtis.
And we are back for Season 5, Episode 4, The Loop.
But it's not just The Loop. It's the Red Right Hand Big Game Spectacular.
Oh God! Okay.
Yes.
I thought you were gonna say it's not only titled The Loop, it's also titled The Birds.
Oh well, let me try that again. This episode is called
Yeah, it's the Greatest Game Spectacular.
Yeah, what are we trying to? I was trying to think what do we do to make it an actual football themed episode? But I couldn't think of anything besides just saying that name at the very beginning and maybe saying a bunch of random ones throughout the whole episode. So we got Big Game Spectacular.
That I
would you say the greatest game ever,
the greatest
or something
game.
like that? Greatest game. So we got to come up with some more, spreading throughout the episode here.
That'll be our contribution to it.
Yes,
that's it.
That'll be the only thing we're doing.
Yeah. So before you watched, did you remember anything about this episode?
I did not, no. And it was just one of those things where it's like right before something happens, you're like, oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember that part. You're like, I don't remember what happens next. And you're like, oh yeah, wait, yeah. Now I remember. Okay, yeah. No, but I don't really remember a whole lot. I will say I do remember what happened at the end, at the ballet, with Arthur. I do remember that happening.
See, I didn't remember that. There's a few little things that I remember, but I totally forgot that they made contact with the Chinese in this one.
Yeah, that was one of those ones that I forgot about until right before it happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't remember most of the main plot points in this episode, so it was these last couple have been like watching brand new episodes.
I did remember that this episode had my favorite song so far in this whole series, in all the seasons. So that was,
I meant to look a couple of them up, but which one are you talking about?
The one, it's by a band called Hotel Lux. I think it's called Albert. It's the one, it's kind of probably in the middle of the episode. And it's playing in the background while at one point he's in the House of Commons speaking. And then I think it's right before he's in his office, and then Mosley comes in right as the song's ending.
Okay. I vaguely remember that one.
Yeah, I play it for you, but we probably get copyrighted, so
yeah, you just have to look it up.
That's why we're calling it the Big Game Spectacular.
Yeah, Big Game Spectacular. No music.
The football championship. How about that? The game. The game. Anyway,
the game.
Back to real matters here, though. The Red Right Hand Podcast.
So the episode starts with Jimmy McCavin coming to have a meeting with Tommy. And I just kind of like that scene, how he, I don't know, they're both just kind of at their peaks here. They're both just trying to play tough.
Right.
And
it's their first time meeting each other in face to face.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jimmy takes a few shots and then points his gun at Tommy, and Tommy never moves. They sing the song you love so much.
Yes. Now all of a sudden I went blank on it.
The Billy Boys
Dang it.
song, something
Yeah,
about
that's what I'm
up to
trying to.
their knees in Finian blood.
Finian blood. Surrender or you'll die. We are the Brighton Dairy Billy Boys, something like that.
Yeah. And so they're going to be doing some business. I guess they've got a truce going now.
You not notice the white flags?
No, I noticed the white flags. I mean, I only later realized that I guess Mosley kind of set this up or wanted this to happen between them.
Sure.
I
I don't really think that that's what it was. I think it's just a deal of Tommy found out that Mosley and McCavern were close. I mean, they had relations,
Yeah.
That made it sound a little weird. They had a friendship.
They were very close.
They were very close. No, they knew each other already. They had some partnership going, and so Tommy knew that. And so I think it's just a deal of, again, it's like trying to use everything to his strategy, whatever that strategy is. I don't even know what that strategy is anymore.
Yeah, I really don't remember much about the next couple of episodes. So it's because this last season, I don't know about you, but I only watched one time. It's like all the other seasons of the show, at least the first 3, I've seen many times.
This is my third time through.
On this one?
Yeah, on this season, but still, there's still some parts. I mean, like when I watched the second time through or whatever, that was over a year ago, and then now coming back through and trying to watch through this whole series, definitely is like, okay, now I'm definitely not remembering, what happened then if I'm trying to figure out, all the other stuff. So
yeah. So they make this agreement. They're going to do some business together. But Tommy lets him know that if they break their agreement, that he's dead. Didn't he say there's like a check in there or something or there's money in there for a funeral, basically?
yeah, I think that's what he said.
Yeah. So, yeah, and they're both just kind of flexing on each other. Now, what's the guy's name who Finn's doing business with right now? The guy who's talking to all the goalkeepers?
Billy Gray.
Billy Gray. Okay. And he's just steadily kind of spinning out.
That dude is weird.
Yeah.
He's a nervous wreck.
Yeah. But they've, I guess they got, what did they, I don't know if it was all of the goalkeepers that they wanted, but I guess most of the ones they talked to said that they do it for £5. Is that what they said?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, that is like nothing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, I don't think that's a whole lot. What the heck?
Yeah. I mean, maybe then, but that also doesn't seem like it would be very much then.
True.
Arthur said later on that they've made 10,000 off of it so far, like gambling, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I was going to look up how much that was in that time.
But he's kind of starting to crack. Yeah, and Arthur and Finn are just kind of trying to keep him in line and keep him from bailing on them, kind of ruining this whole thing.
This is today would be £5 in 1929 would be 338 pounds and 45 cents. because that's how you would say that. I mean, I have no clue
Oh,
what that
okay.
is in American dollars, but pounds to dollars.
It's probably more because it's their money. It's probably worth more. There's probably more behind it.
What did I say? 338, 45. It's only $458.
Yeah, okay. That's better than I was thinking.
What were you thinking? $2?
I mean, £3 feels like $3.
About the
I
same.
mean, I
think it
realize
was,
the conversion, yeah, it's like
well, but
it's
I think
more,
it
but
was right, but I think it was saying like a dollar or 1 pound is equals to $1.35 American.
okay.
So finances.
Alrighty.
Welcome back to the Red Right Hand podcast. We're just talking about currency and conversion and finances. Do you have a stock portfolio? Would you like one? Let us help
can't
you
help
set
you.
one up. We can't help you. Okay. But if you're looking for a podcast to talk about Peaky Blinders, you've come to the right place.
You're already here.
You're already here.
Did you want to talk about Mrs. Connors and the birds?
Oh my gosh. See, that was one of those things too where I'd forgotten
Me
until
too.
right before she
I
put
was
them
like,
on
wow,
the
that's
table. I
brutal.
was like, dang. Because it was weird too, because like I'm looking at this woman this time around, and I'm like, wait, is that the chick that her son got killed by Arthur, and then
It
she
looked
tried
like
to
her.
set him up? It did look like her. I wonder if it was the same actress, maybe. But anyway,
Maybe.
yeah, so she's all distraught and telling Tommy her story. Of course, he's doing. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what you would call it, but like he's doing this, like hearing in the what we call it, the book, the Nook.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Oh no, it's the snug.
the Snug. That's it. Yeah,
No,
because
but I
he's
don't even think
got.
they're in the snug. They're in like a
No, they
different
are.
part because then Arthur walks from that room across through the hallway. That's when you see the Chinese guy for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes into the snug where
Tommy and her and that lady is at. Yeah, it's in there
is that
because
right?
yeah, that's where they're at because then the bartender is talking to them through the window.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so they're in there in the snug talking, and of course, she's making it sound like her husband who gets drunk all the time and gets violent apparently when he gets woken up after his drunken stupor. Made it sound like he came downstairs and killed their kids. To which then like she just
Well,
like
she was
puts
calling them her kids or the
right,
kids.
yeah. So to which like she ends up saying that she brought like evidence, like their bodies as evidence to Tommy. Of course, you can tell Arthur's getting uneasy, and then she puts it up on the table and it's the three birds. To which Arthur's like, oh thank God. They really thought. I think he really thought they was gonna put like limbs up there or something.
Right. Well, and it doesn't show you that she's got this like little package, like that's like newspaper or whatever, until after you hear it. And so like you hear her like opening it and you can tell it's like paper. And I was just like, oh my God. Like she brought like 3 dead kids up here.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that didn't happen. So
they are my children's.
Yeah, just wound up being the birds. So Tommy's gonna send Arthur to go get her some new birds, and they're gonna come by and pay her husband a visit.
We're gonna talk to him.
Yeah, and then and then she said that she was gonna name the 3 birds after the 3 of them.
Jeez, yeah. That's not good.
Yeah.
Is that an omen?
Tommy kind of tries to explain to Arthur too, like what he's doing by doing this. He said that I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he was like, this woman, they have no money. Her husband's a drunk and beats her, and she comes to me with the complaint that her birds are dead. Like this is what she comes to me with.
Right.
And so he said something about like that's politics.
That's politics.
That's politics, bitch. So yeah, when Arthur comes out of the room there, you see that there's this guy waiting in the line of people to talk to them. Yeah, and I didn't recognize him at first. I mean, I guess I didn't recognize him as anyone.
I'm gonna say
You know what I mean?
we shouldn't. We've never seen him.
He's
before,
not been in it.
Yeah. But obviously they know who he is after he says the name.
Yeah. And this is all kind of a setup. At the same time as he's coming in to talk to them, a girl that's in his employ has gone to Finn, and I guess he's just in another part of the building, right?
No, he's somewhere else because he ends up running down the street later on to get to the garrison.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I don't know, like if it's maybe at their offices, like the book or whatever, which is crazy because that's I don't remember them ever showing the book. So I guess what we were calling it before, where they're doing all the bets and everything before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they show that at all this season, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, maybe not. And so this is all just to kind of get Tommy's attention for this deal. What's this guy's name?
Mr. Chang.
Oh, Brilliant Chang.
Brilliant Chang.
That was it.
What a name.
Yeah. And they want the blinders to they just want him to hold it, right?
I don't know. See, I always get kind of confused by this scene, and I think the one thing that really messes with me is the fact is like I don't know who this guy is, but like I don't know. It's just really weird. And then I remember the first time watching this when the season came out, and I don't know, I just kept thinking in like the back of my mind that because they dealt with the Chinese in the very first episode when Finn and Isaiah and Aberama went to go kill that guy that we didn't know anything about. I always somehow like for some reason like the back of my mind was like putting those two things together and like trying to figure out how they went together. And so I don't know if I just got like distracted by that and just like never really been able to really figure out what this scene is. I mean, I get the whole deal of like the what's the drug?
Opium.
Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I mean, I get the whole opium part because I mean, like, and it basically, he's basically saying you stole this from me, isn't it? I mean, because it was basically his, wasn't it? Brilliant Chang's or not?
The opium?
See, that's one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so confused.
I think no, they stole it from somewhere else. Tommy, it's not theirs.
Okay.
No, it was a shipment that was somebody else's. Tommy like heard about it, like he read about it or whatever, like the robbery, and he made a note about it. And they stole it. and they're looking for, I think, a place to hold it for a little while.
Who stole it and who's looking for a place to hold it?
Chang.
Okay.
Chang stole it, and he's looking for them to hold it for him for maybe like a couple weeks or something, and then he's going to move it. Or maybe they're supposed to move it. I don't, because that's the confusing part, because Tommy later on, he like flips it on them and he's like doing something he's not really supposed to be doing. I think they're just supposed to be holding it, and they're getting paid to keep it on their boats and not have it be checked. That's why he's just going to have it like going down the canal.
That's
But
crazy
then
though, because
he
then like he's
decides
trying to
to
sell it
sell.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, he decides to sell, and I don't think that's a part of.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. It's just there's so much going on this season, you know. There's almost too much.
I'm sure we'll see, like in the next episode for sure, what's going on. If they're supposed to be, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be just holding it and getting paid a pretty hefty fee for just doing that. And Tommy's got something else in the works here.
Yeah, he's always got something going. Those gears in his head are moving all the time.
Yeah,
now they're getting
I
rested.
really like that. I really like that scene later where he does the deal with Jimmy McCavin, and then he asks him if he just has a death wish, like why he does like all these things, like if if he just wants to die.
I can't remember what he says. What his response was. Do you remember?
I don't think he had one. Charlie
he
put his cigarette out in the cup.
Oh, okay, maybe not. Okay. I was like, I'm not cheering to that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we just get to see some more of Arthur's rage. I just kind of made a note about that. Like, he is so furious when they're all in the room together that he is just like shaking and snorting like an animal. So he's pretty unhinged. I mean, the last episode. We also got the answer to that question. If the guy that Arthur cut up in the last episode, if he lived or died.
He lived.
Oh, he made it.
For now.
Yeah, he probably wishes that he hadn't, but he made it.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah, I made another note that the amount of opium that they have is worth around €1 million. It was like more than that. It was like, I think insane. 1,100,000 or something.
Something like that, yeah. Well over 1 million.
Yeah. So they have a vote on whether or not they're going to hold the opium or not. Basically, the only people voting on this kind of stuff at this point are Arthur, Tommy, and Polly. I mean, it's the three people who have the most say,
right?
Who control most of the company.
And at first, it's easily 2-1 against it.
Yeah.
But then he obviously convinces Polly otherwise because of the amount of money.
Well, it's the amount of money, and that he's going to
make Michael.
If she votes yes, he's going to reinstate Michael and bring him back in and let him run that part of the company.
Well, and then he says too, it's like what I think he said whatever the haul was, at least on one of them or whatever, was like half of what he lost in Detroit.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something. It's like, hey, look, I'm trying to give him some redemption here, in a way.
Yeah. Yeah,
Maybe he's just using
I
him as a
don't
pawn.
feel
I
like
don't
he
know.
really is. Yeah, I feel like he's just using that to get Polly to vote his way.
Yeah.
Um, so they take a vote, 2-1, Polly and Tommy against Arthur, and they're going to hold the opium.
It's funny. The line that I like was he told Arthur, who's obviously against it, was trying to tell him, it's like don't get involved with the Chinese. What would Dad do? And it's funny when he said don't get involved with the Chinese. I immediately went back to what he told Tommy in season 3, and Tommy told him, "You're right." At the very end of season 3, to not get involved with the Russians. And it's like, here we
Yeah,
are again. It's like, don't get involved with the Chinese, man. Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna do this.
yeah. Well, they've been saying that since what, like the first or second episode? I think it's the first episode.
Of this season?
No, of the first season,
About
very
what?
first
Chinese?
episode, about not dealing with the Chinese. I don't really know why that is, like why they see them as, so formidable. Well, we see Tommy deal with a lot of bad people with huge organizations, some really deadly people. So it's just weird that there's the Chinese who we don't know anything about their organization, who they won't do deals with because they're scared to, basically.
Yeah, there's
There's
something.
like something wrong there, like there's no trust
Samurais,
in it. I
ninjas.
think that's Japanese, right?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe it's the koi pawns and the geisha girls.
I
That's
don't
what
think
scares
so.
them. It's the face paint. That's what scares. It's the dragons. That's what it is. Yeah, I don't
I
know.
doubt it.
It's yeah.
You want to
Maybe
say any
it's
other racial
no, no, no,
stereotypes
no, no,
while
no.
you're?
I know what it is. I know what it is. It's the birds. That's what it is, man.
It's not the birds.
Okay.
God damn it.
Oh, I thought it was.
Um. So yeah, then they, Polly and Arthur talk about just letting Linda go. Arthur just his rage is just boiling over. Um. And they talk about letting Linda go, him moving on. Um, then Tommy goes to meet with Aberama. At first, I couldn't remember if this was real or not either, if he was just doing the same thing, and kind of telling Aberama what he wanted to hear so that he could keep him from ruining their business.
Yeah, probably so. I mean, it's like, hey, I've got this strategy. Don't mess it up. I've got this
Yeah.
plan. But it's at the same time, it's like they tried telling him that in the last episode. It's like, don't do what you're wanting to do, what you're feeling to do. It's like, because we have a plan. Just give us some time here, and we'll get it done. It has to be done this correct way, not just all out. What you want to do.
Yeah.
Which is funny because then like he goes on to tell him it's like he has a plan already of like how he was gonna kill Jimmy McCavern. I mean, like he
Oh
had
God, it was perfect.
Yeah, he had some chick name that was gonna, basically lure him in. He had a getaway car. He had this and that. Yeah, he had it like down to a T. He was ready to go.
Yeah. So Tommy convinces him not to by offering for him to marry Polly instead, basically as a condition of him not doing that. That Tommy would basically bless it, and that was what Polly wanted. So then we get a scene of Tommy speaking in the house. And what are they calling it? Are they calling it National Socialism?
Yes, National Socialism.
Okay. That seems like a really It seems like not what it ended up being.
Well, things just, don't always turn out to be what they seem they might be. Just like, the movie The Birds didn't turn out to be as scary as a lot of people might think it may be, especially when you watch it in 2022.
But I just thought it was funny because he speaks for the Socialist Party normally,
Mm.
and he gets a lot of applause and cheers and stuff, But then when he says National Socialism, which
Yeah.
doesn't sound like the Nazi Party,
Right.
um, when he says that, there's a bunch of like boos from the crowd, like when he starts like talking about that, these guys are like, no, no, oh my God, no.
Right. Well, but here's the other thing too. I think it's already a thing in Germany by that time. I mean, I don't think he's in power yet because he didn't come into power till like what, 33, I think. I mean, the party is already there. It's been there for a while.
What year is it now? Is it 1930?
29 or 30. It'd probably be 30 now.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm sure they already knew, what that meant. Because he straight up said he's like, my comrades or whatever may not like what I don't remember how he said exactly, but basically he was saying they're not going to like what I'm about to say here or whatever. And, that's when the murmuring starts kind of, you know what? And then he says National Socialism. They say, oh, boo. And then the whole deal of boo
Oh my
this
God.
man. Boo.
National Socialism. Oh my God.
Yeah. That's when we get our first glimpse of Winston Churchill since like what, season 2 or 3?
I was going to ask that if that was him. He looks rough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was him.
Okay.
Big old cigar and everything.
Yeah. And then that song that you really like plays, apparently.
Yeah. I think it's at that point.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know.
Because then Mosley comes in to talk to him right after that.
Maybe so. I don't know. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. The
Um,
song will play eventually, or it already has.
Tommy and Mosley just have a back and forth afterwards in Tommy's office. A lot of scenes of them just kind of pushing each other's buttons.
Yeah, this one though, it gets really weird because they start talking about weaknesses and they the whole I've done research on you. Well, I've done research on you too. And I could have really done without Tommy's research on Mosley, man, because that was just weird.
That was odd.
Yeah, I wonder if that's real though. Mosley is a real person, but I wonder if that was really true about him in real life.
I don't know.
It's creepy.
We'll have to see. We'll have to come back with an update on that one next episode.
Hey Siri.
Oh God. Tommy invites him to the party he's going to be throwing at his house. That's where Aberama is going to be proposing to Polly. Michael's going to be reinstated, and they're having a ballet troupe, ballet company. Do they call them companies?
Yeah, company, I think is what they said.
They just have a ballet company coming to do Swan Lake, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But do you remember what this whole thing is for?
Is it Lizzie's birthday?
It's Lizzie's birthday. Happy birthday, Lizzie.
Okay. Yeah. I forgot. Yeah, I is the first time they mention it, like there in the office. Because doesn't he just tell Aberama
Yes.
it's a party?
Yes, because that's when he says that, that's when it comes up about Mosley may already know who she is, or who of her, or met her already, because he had
Yeah.
said that was one of his research things that he did on Tommy, was find out about his wife and her past and all that different stuff. And he said
Yeah.
that he may have come in contact with her before in his younger primer days,
In his travels.
in his travels.
So when Mosley leaves, he's going to come to the party. When he leaves, Tommy is so just angry and frustrated and strung out and at the end of his rope, like he constantly is, and pulls open the desk drawer, and he's got a gun in there. So we've got like another moment where I feel like he's thinking about, just ending it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have another crazy moment with Grace there. Did you want to talk about that a little bit?
I was trying to even remember what she said. I don't even remember what she said.
Well, she said it was you. She said it wasn't this stone, like it wasn't the
Yeah.
cursed necklace. She said it was you.
Which I think we talked about that before when it happened, about, like, I think, he never really said it, but I think at the same time, he wanted the gypsy lady to tell him that it was that stone and that it wasn't him. Basically, he's trying to, almost like he was trying to relieve himself of the guilt and really put it on a curse, that that it was the curse's fault that his wife died, and not because he's out of control and he can't go legit, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, then especially he couldn't carry on until he felt like it wasn't his fault.
Right,
But
exactly.
here I feel like it's more important because now he needs to come to terms with it, that
Mm-hmm.
like it was his fault, so he can shake this, like stop seeing her like having these visions and stuff.
Right.
Because he has some weird ones like later in the episode.
Because I don't remember that part. We'll just have to wait till we get there.
So oh no, I guess this is it. Yeah, okay. So when he starts having those visions of Grace, then immediately it seems like he's come out of it, and it's him. He's standing on a bridge, and he's
Oh
looking
yeah,
down, and the boat
it's
passes
weird.
underneath full of coal,
Yeah,
and Grace's body is like in the coal.
and then
And
he's steering the ship, looking
yeah,
back up at
and
himself.
he said I can't remember what the name of the boat was.
The January or the February?
Oh, the January. That's right.
The
Yeah.
January, yeah, which was the name of their dad's boat.
Yeah. He said the boat he was born on.
Yeah, the boat he was born on. Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
and so Tommy thinks there's a bunch of meaning behind all this. He goes to see Ada in the middle of the night, and she just kind of seems worried about him. He sounds like
Right.
he's going crazy.
Right. Yeah. Well, and they start talking about the, oh my gosh, they start talking about the morphine, or is it the opium? You say morphine or opium? I think it was
I think
morphine.
she said morphine.
That's what I thought. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm still taking it." And of course, she brought up the whole deal. Is like, you got to stop because that's making you see things, which is what we talked about before. But
Well, he never explicitly says to her that he's still using it. She asks him, and he doesn't reply. And I thought that was interesting because it leaves us wondering if he's still using.
right, but then he goes on to say she asked him how much he had, and then I think he said he had, like, I don't remember how much, but it was an ungodly amount.
He said 7 tons. It's what the
Yeah,
Chinese brought.
Okay.
That's what they had.
And that's okay. That's why I was right. But then that's why I was like, okay, wait, what was it, morphine or opium? Because now I think he's like blending two things together.
Isn't morphine made with opium?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I look like a scientist to you.
No.
Thank you. Good.
Then we've got a scene with Polly and Michael. Polly's just breaking down what Michael's new role within the company would be. He's hesitant about it, and she tells him about his real father. So we get a little piece of information about Michael's father there. You're never really given a whole lot. There is one time where Polly describes him. I think she says that he liked to play music or something like that.
Yeah. Just trying
I can't
talking
remember what
about
it
him
was.
and like how he died or whatever.
Yeah. And she talks about the coal, and basically tells him that if he doesn't take this, they're going to put him out on his own, and he's not going to be able to keep Gina. Because it seems pretty obvious that Gina has a taste for expensive things.
Right. And that was one of the topics that they talked about with the amount of money that they would be making, and all that different stuff, because like he was still so dead set on, we're going to New York because the baby's going to be born in New York or whatever. And, if I take this, it's going to conflict with that and she's not going to like that. But then Polly's like, well, if you tell her the amount, then she'll be okay with it.
Yeah. So then we get that scene we were talking about earlier where Tommy and Charlie make the deal with Jimmy McCavan.
Did you notice that
we're just gonna have to
nasty
see
scar on his neck?
Tommy or Jimmy?
No, on Jimmy. It's on his left side. Yeah, I
No, I
wonder
don't
what.
remember.
I just kind of sit there and wonder what happened to him.
I was listening to a dollop one time where they were talking about it was like one of their UK episodes, and it was some stuff from Glasgow, and it was talking about during a certain time period. I can't remember when it was, but it was like a statistic on how many boys like under a certain age, like how many knife wounds they had like before a certain point, because everybody carried knives, and you settle a lot of disputes that way, I guess.
Wow, that's crazy.
So they make the deal. We're just gonna have to see next episode kind of where this is going. If Tommy's trying to play Jimmy McCavan and maybe get him killed by the Chinese, or what the plan is here. So it's Lizzie's birthday. And the first bit there is Michael and Gina talking and him laying out for the offer that they gave him. He seems genuine, like in that scene, he seems genuinely happy to be going back.
Yeah, that's what I always thought too.
And just kind of be back in the mix of things. He knows that Tommy is at the top, and he's just talking like he used to. But then Gina has to put forward that he'll be taking over because Tommy's going to put himself in the grave, basically.
Right. So, I mean, it's kind of like this.
Or somebody's going to put him there.
Right. It's almost like the same relationship with like Linda and Arthur. It's like it's like the woman always wants their man to be the top dog,
Yeah.
Because I think it was kind of the same way too, wasn't it, with John and Isabel? Is that her name?
No, it's not her name.
John and Esme.
Esme, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of that way too with them, and I feel
Not
like
as
they
severe as
all
like this
had,
stuff, but
yeah, they all had their own reasons. Linda's, it was more because she felt like Arthur was a better person. Gina, because she is a gold digging tramp.
right.
So I liked the comparison in the scene after this. That's why Tommy and Lizzie have this connection. As he puts it, is because they both have a pile of bodies. You know, Tommy's are the people he's killed, you know, and hers are the people that she's been with, and a lot of the stuff that she's probably just had to suffer through.
Right. Well, and at this point too, he brought up that, you know, this guy who's coming in, he says he may know you, you know, and that's when they were talking
Yeah.
about, you know, the bodies and everything, and like, let's move on, you know, or whatever.
Yeah. I just thought that was interesting. I'd never made that connection like between the two of them, you know, that they both have that. It's just different for each of them.
Right.
Oh, I also like how he said that if he tried anything, he'd be meat for Johnny Dogs.
Yeah. So was Johnny Dogs a cannibal? That's what I thought of when I heard it this time through. I was like, wait, what?
No, just because, you know, Johnny Dogs is always taking care of his bodies.
Yeah. No, I know. I got you.
Then Tommy meets with Mosley and has him sign for Jimmy McCavin's check. Tommy told him that he wouldn't take a check for payment of the opium unless somebody he could trust would vouch for him, basically.
Which is funny because Mosley keeps playing. It's like he doesn't know him. He doesn't know him. He doesn't know him. And then he finally kind of lets in a little bit.
Yeah.
Not fully confirming. Yes, I know him.
And what does Mosley say his weakness is?
What did he say? He trusts too much. Or no. He doesn't trust too much. He's it'll be the opposite. He's basically paranoid, like to trust somebody.
No, he said that
Right?
he had, that he basically, like you said, that he trusted too much. I can't remember exactly the way he said it.
Really?
But that's why he went ahead and signed the check, like right after that. That's why he was like, "Do you have a pen?" Like,
Okay. That didn't seem right, but all right.
no, but you can go back and look at it. We can revisit it next episode, but I'm like 90% sure that's what he said. Because he was immediately like, "Yeah, I'll sign for it."
Right. If I'm right and you're wrong, you have to issue me an apology video.
Okay. I will also accept an apology video when you see that I'm right.
All right. Deal. What if we're both wrong? We have to apologize to the creators of the show and everything.
We just won't talk about it again. We'll just move on.
We'll just never mention it, man. We'll just keep acting like nothing happened.
I did think it was funny that when they're all introduced, they both totally remembered each other.
Well, and she knew him the moment that he came into the room. She saw him across the room. She immediately was like, "No, crap."
Yeah. Did she put her cigarette out in his drink?
I think so. Yeah.
A lot of that going on in this episode.
Yeah. Well, and she remembers. I mean, she remembers the night and everything.
Yeah. So then we have the ballet. And I noticed a couple little things there. I like the way they set this up, how it goes back and forth kind of between what's happening in the story of the ballet and what happens to them, as they're
got the
watching.
ballet, right? You got the ballet going, and then you got the ballet of real life intertwined to a beautiful,
God.
avant-garde piece of work.
God.
It's art, man.
Yeah. I put down, is Gina gonna be the weak link here in
Well, here's the weird part, and this is what comes up in a lot of people's theories for the end of this season. When her and Michael are talking at the beginning of the party, Mosley walks in when he first gets there, and she already knew who he was.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of that, and then the whole part with this scene when it's like he keeps looking at her and she keeps looking over at him. A lot of people keep thinking that like they already know each other and that maybe she's kind of in behind all of this or something. I don't know, but it is kind of weird. It's like, how do you know him already?
Yeah, for sure.
There's a theme with this show. Everybody does research, and how they do it without Google and all that, I don't know. The old-fashioned, just go ask the guy down the street, apparently.
Who's that guy? Yeah, it's not like there's like pictures of people like floating around everywhere,
Right. Right. Facebook posts and weird stuff like that.
You probably only know someone by like a description or a name or something.
Right.
Then Aberama pulls Polly outside to propose. And she accepts. So I don't remember where this goes. So I'm like, well, for now they're
I don't really think it goes a
engaged, and I guess
whole. Yeah, I don't think it goes
gonna
very
be
far,
married.
to be honest.
Does Aberama die?
Well, I'm not saying that. I just like I don't. There's not like a whole lot of like story time devoted to it. I think from here on out, like their relationship, whatever. I could be wrong. I don't remember. Anything else happening in these next two episodes between them. You know, I don't know if they got married or anything, but anyway.
And then who shows up? Who's coming to dinner?
Ronald McDonald?
No.
Oh, Alfred Hitchcock. Yes, that's who it is. And guess what? He brought a copy of The Birds.
Oh God!
It's it's Linda. Well, which is funny too because like I always laugh when they start showing like the different characters when the ballet starts, and you got Arthur just like totally sacked out. Now, I don't know if he's just like drunk out of his mind or like but he's just all like snoring real loud and everything. And then Tommy notices a car comes speeding down the road. So he's trying to get Arthur's attention. Of course, he's asleep. So he gets Michael's attention to get Arthur's attention. Then Arthur gets up and goes out there, and it's Linda. Of course, they have their little spat, and she tells him, there was nothing between us. It was just somebody to talk to, and now you've disfigured him, and nobody can even look at him anymore, basically. Because his face is so torn up. And it's when she pulls out the gun on him. He acts like he's just ready for it. He's going full Tommy mode, just like, go ahead, shoot me. Yeah. That's when Polly comes around and shoots her. I don't think that she died from that, but I can't remember.
Linda?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not.
I don't know. I can't remember.
I literally have no idea. I don't remember.
We'll find out. TBD.
Yeah.
No, TBC. To be continued. There we go. Or TBD. Yeah, either one, I guess.
Yeah, and that's where it leaves you at the end of the episode. Yeah, and that's really the only cliffhanger kind of at the end of this episode, other than we just don't really know what's going on with Gina and Mosley.
Could it be love?
I doubt it.
Oh, okay. Wow, you're not
She's
a
not
believer in
related to
love, are
him by
you?
marriage, so
Maybe she is a
that's going to be a
cousin.
no for him.
Could be a cousin or something, man. You never know. Long lost cousin. Like, guess what? I just found out we were cousins. Really? Wow.
He's now
Howdy
interested.
doody.
Oh God.
Yeah. Got to keep it in
All
the
right.
family.
Oh God.
It's not me.
All
It's
right.
Mosley. Let's get out of
That's gonna do it for this episode. We will be back next week for season 5, episode 5. So we just got 2 more. And then we'll have that new season coming up pretty quick.
Dang, I just realized something, man.
What?
We shouldn't have been doing a big game spectacular. We should have been doing a Valentine's Day spectacular, because there's so much love in this episode, especially with Mosley and his relationships. Oh my goodness.
The Many Loves of Mosley.
The Many Loves of Mosley. Could be a hit movie right there, man. I mean,
That's
that's
the movie that's coming. That's the Peaky Blinders movie that's coming.
Here's the thing about it, though. If I was going to direct that, I wouldn't be doing whatever the heck he's doing, though. I'd change it up. I'd still keep the title, but I'm changing out. You're not doing all that.
You're like, no. We're cutting that out.
We're cutting that part out. I'm going to change a few things around. Just a few, just a few. Like your whole story.
Like, let me run this by you. You're not a Nazi. And also, all the women you're with, not related to you.
Not related. Yeah, that's just weird. I wonder if they know.
Probably.
Let's get out of here.
I don't know. Yeah, let's go.
Let's get out of here.
Make sure you go over to Twitter.
We'll leave that for a mini episode. The pondering of Oswald Mosley.
Yeah, we'll leave it before it goes any further. You can follow us over on Twitter at Red Right Hand PO1. You can find us on YouTube at the Red Right Hand Podcast at Is Survived by Productions. You can also find us over on Twitch at GhostLad676. Yeah, until then, we'll see you guys later.
Yeah, every time I see an American flag now, I think of trucks and I get a hard on.